Guys, welcome to the Wednesday Florida Treasure Coast Market Update. Today, we're going to talk about the market in the last 2 weeks. Stay with me.
You better get fired up!
Happy Wednesday, guys. We're here every single Wednesday at 11 o'clock to review what's going on in our local Port St. Lucie market. And today, with the storms that happened last week, I really want to look at the sales that we've had. And by sales, I don't mean closings. I mean things that are going under contract, things that are pending since the storm, just to kind of see, are we getting any action, or if people kind of stopped buying and selling over the last couple weeks, or I should say 1 week. Let's kind of see what's happening, right? So this is something I honestly want to see the answer to. Before I dive into it, I had one of my clients reach out to me last week, and he is in Portofino Shores. And I know Portofino Shores, Spanish Lakes were specifically hit hard. There are other communities that were hit hard. And he asked me, he said, hey, I'm guessing 40% of the homes here in Portofino Shores have been damaged to the extent that you can visually see the damage. Like, it's pretty bad. And our clubhouse has been damaged beyond use. And I don't know what that means for our home values, because they had planned on listing their home here in 2 months with me. And they're in a position where they don't need to sell. They want to sell. They want to go back to, I believe it's Ohio. They want to be with family. They moved down here, thought family would follow them. Family did not follow them. So, hey, I want to move back to Ohio. Well, the storm damaging the community concerns them. And they're thinking, hey, if my home was worth whatever, say it's 400 grand, now is it worth 350? Is it worth 3? Is it worth 250? What's it worth? So we had a great conversation. I said, listen, I've never seen a storm like this before as a realtor. So I'm not 100% sure. But I think it's a real concern. The closest thing I've ever seen is Tesoro, where it wasn't a storm. It was a situation where they had closed down the clubhouses, the restaurants, the golf courses, a lot of the amenities for quite a while. And it drastically impacted the prices. I remember one of the first homes I ever showed in Tesoro. I was new to the area. This was, 5 years ago? And I walked in and I thought, man, this got to be $1.5 million home. And the price tag is $675. This is crazy. And then I found out what had happened in Tesoro, and it negatively impacted them. Now, they've gotten all these things back up and going. I think they got great leadership in place right now. They're doing wonderful things. And I'm seeing sales and I'm seeing prices go up in Tesoro. So it will come back. The question is, how long is it going to take? Now, it took years in Tesoro. Is it going to take years in Portofino Shores? So I said, listen, I would highly suggest, if I were you, I would go to the next board meeting and I would find out what your leadership plans on doing. Are they getting federal funds to maybe build back up that clubhouse, to build back up some of these homes? What are insurance company turnaround times looking like? You're probably going to hear more from them than you are just sitting in your own house. And then you can start to see if this is a 3-month issue or a 3-year issue. But it's going to take time. If you're going to sell before then, really what I would do is maybe give it 60, 90 days. Give me a call. We can look up any sales that have happened in Portofino Shores. I can also look in Spanish Lakes because they were also hit. And we can see if there's 5 sales and they sold for 10, 12, 13, 14, and 16% less than they would have before the storm, well, then we know you're going to get hit 10 to 16% on average. Is that worth it to move? Or would you rather wait 6 to 12 months, maybe even a little bit longer, to get the full value? And there's no right or wrong decision. It's just knowing what you're likely looking at and then making the decision as an educated seller. That's the important part. Some people, it makes sense to sell. For some people, it wouldn't make sense to sell. So looking at all these different things, I thought, man, it would be great to look into the current market and see kind of what's been going on since, let's say, Thursday. I'll even go back to Wednesday, because I know Wednesday was when it was starting to approach and everything else. That's when we got hit. I think all the tornadoes were on Wednesday. So I'm going to share my screen here. Maybe. Come on, Joe. Boop. This guy right here. Is it working? Not yet. Here we go. And boom. Now it should be working. Okay, so I'm going to go over to... This is our MLS. So this is where all the action happens, the magic behind the scenes, right? Anything you go to look at, whether it's, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor, eXp Realty, Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, all of those are fed from what's called an IDX feed that sources from these MLSs around the state, right? Around the country, to be honest. But this is the base. This is the source of all the information. So I'm going to come in here. Let's look up Port St. Lucie. And let's look up things that have either gone pending or active under contract. And we want their under contract date to be, oh man, we're in 2023. So let's go back to last Wednesday. So that's a week. So we got a week. So we can see we got 48 that have gone under contract, okay, in Port St. Lucie since then. So let's look at how many were single family homes. So the 48 is right up here, okay? So I'm going to go single family detached, 40 of them. So what is 40 into 48 minus 8? That's 1/6. So that's about what, 83%? That's Joe math. I don't know if that's true. Let's pull up this calculator. 40 divided by 48. Yeah, 83%. So that's 83% of the properties that have went under contract since last Wednesday have been single family homes. Now you can see over on the right here, all of these orange dots are the dots that have gone, or the homes that have gone under contract. They're on the east side, the west side, the north side, the south side. They're in the center of the city. They're in HOAs. They're not in it. Well, I don't know. Let's look it up. So how many were townhouses? One was a townhouse. Okay, so that's 41. How many were condos? 2. All right, so we're missing 5. What are the other 5? Mobile homes? That's 2. Okay, so we're still missing 3. Maybe a villa? 3. There they are. Okay, so there you go. Now you know exactly what's going on. So now let's get out of these. Let's look at how many were in HOAs. Homeowners Association, mandatory. 21. So just a hair under half, 24 would be half, were in HOAs, which that is a pretty good representation of the city itself. That doesn't really surprise me. How many are new construction? And I'm going to say newer construction. Let's go back to, say, 2021. Okay. How many were new construction of those 48? 13 of them. Okay, interesting. So that means if you are thinking, man, I got to compete with builders right now in this market, not necessarily. That means 35 weren't new construction. And at 2021, 22, 22, those are not new construction builds. They're newer, but they're not new construction builds. How many have pools? Out of those 48, 16 have pools. That's exactly a third. So now let's come in and let's start looking at some of these prices. Let's see what price points are actually attracting buyers right now. Let's go ascending. Okay, so we've got 7 of the 48. So that's a little less than 20%. Are 300 grand or less, right? 219.9 all the way up to 295. And when you look at days on market, these have been on for 44, 14, 42, 212, 189, 2 and 10 days. So that's good to see. And all of them except 2 are 2-bed, 2 baths. 2 of them, the one at 274.9 and the one at 295, were 3-bed, 2 baths. This one has 2.1, so it's usually a little half bath, right? So how many are in that $300,000 to $400,000 range? That's going to be the majority, right? So that's numbers 8 through 24. So 24 minus 7 is 17. So 17 out of 48 are $300,000 to $400,000. 17 divided by, and that's pretty much the price point. That's 35%. That's a hair over a third. That's the biggest price point that I am hearing right now from people. That is affordable for most people. They're looking up to 350 or 400. So let's start looking 4 to 5. What do we see at 4 to 5? Okay, so we got house number 24 all the way to house 36. So 36 minus 23 is what, 13? 13 houses? And then on the high end here, what do we got? We've got 4 that are over 700,000. We got 720, 749, 749. That's the same house, so it's listed in 2 different MLSs. And we got one at 954,097. That's a weird price. So there you go. Now you can see what is actually selling. Now let's take a look at, because 400 is pretty much the typical price that most people are sharing with me right now. Let's just come in and see. So this is a 1,628 square foot home. Let's just take a look at what that kind of looks like. So you've got a pool. It is screened. It's got a white vinyl fence. That's nice. 2-stall garage. Okay, so it's got original tile. This was probably built in either the late 90s. This doesn't look like a 2004 house to me, but it could be. I'm guessing this is more like 95 to 99. We'll test my knowledge here in a bit. But it looks like it's really well maintained. It's clean. That fan up top certainly is not original. It does have 8-foot ceilings, not 10-foot ceilings. They're attempting to make it an open layout with that cutout window from the kitchen into the living room. Kitchen's got granite, nice granite backsplash, and that's a high granite backsplash. Most backsplashes are 3-4 inches. This one goes all the way up to the cabinets, which is really nice. They got a stainless steel appliance package. That's got to be newer. I don't know if I'd say it was new, but newer. What else we got for 400 grand? Okay, they got a little patio back, little concrete patio for their grill. Okay, so that white vinyl fence must go along the back. It must be their neighbor's fence, and then they got a chain link here on the side. Beautiful floors in the master bathroom. And then they got original tile in the master bath, but they've got nice granite. And look at that shower. That's really nice. Walk-in closet, second bedroom. Okay, they've got nice granite in their bathroom. That's an upgrade a lot of people like. There's your third bedroom. And then again, there's that pool area. And that's a beautiful little pool area. So for $400,000, now we don't know if these people paid $380,000. Did they pay $420,000? It was multiple offers. We have no idea. But it looks like you've got a really nice yard here. You've got a pool. You've got a clean house. You got newer flooring in the bedrooms. You've got granite in every single room with countertops. And it's seemingly it's a clean house. So there you go. That's roughly what you're going to get with a $400,000 price tag. So hopefully, how do I stop this? Stop screen. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that kind of helps you and shows you that, with 48 homes sold in a week, we're getting some sales, right? I typically see around 550 to 600 sales every 45 days. Let's take let's just say 575. 575 divided by 45 days. That's 12.77 homes a day. If we're looking at the last roughly week, so times 7, normally we're at 89 sales, right? Going under contract. We're at 48. So we're at a little over half of what we typically see. I can almost guarantee you some of that is because something just went under contract in the last day or two and it just hasn't been uploaded. So let's bump that 48 up to 60, 65, somewhere around that range. We're still short of the 89. I guarantee all of that is because of the storm. But seeing that 48, which is probably 60, 65 once they actually get entered into the system, are entered in, it tells me there's still people buying and selling, and it's going to be a nice bounce back more than likely in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to wait 2, 3, 4 months to sell, again, unless you're in Spanish Lakes, Portofino Shores, or another area that's that heavily hit, I don't think that that's necessary at all. I don't know if I'd put it on quite this week. I might wait a week or two, and whoever your realtor is, have that conversation with them. Like, hey, when do you think the best time is? They'll tell you. They want to get it on the market. I want to list your house, but I also want to do it at a time that's beneficial for both of us. And if it sells, it's beneficial for me. So our interests are aligned, right? So your realtor is going to tell you the best time to list it. But those are all the things that I was taking a look at. I just thought I'd share that little tidbit because for some of you, you're in that situation. You're in Portofino Shores, you're in Spanish Lakes, or you've got friends or family who are, and you want to share that information with them. So hopefully this was valuable. If you have topics for something you'd like me to look into next week in our market update, feel free to let me know in the comments, or you can DM me, and I'm happy to do it. But thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week.